Before we start, if you love real American horror stories, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell right now. Part 2 drops this Monday night. You don't want to miss it. My name is Ethan Harper. Back in October 2024, I booked a weekend cabin in the Smoky Mountains through Airbnb. The listing was called Whispering Pines Retreat, Secluded Luxury Cabin with Panoramic Views. The photos looked perfect. A modern A-frame with floor-to-ceiling windows, a hot tub on the deck, and nothing but miles of autumn-colored forest in every direction. 4.98 stars, over 300 reviews. The host's name was Rebecca Caldwell. Her profile picture was a smiling woman in her late 30s with auburn hair and kind eyes. The price was suspiciously low for peak leaf season, $180 a night. I didn't think much of it, I just needed to get away. I'm a software engineer from Atlanta. 32, divorced, no kids, no pets. My life had become an endless loop of code, coffee, and doom-scrolling Reddit at 3 a.m. My therapist, yes, I have one, told me to touch grass. So I booked the cabin for 4 nights, Thursday to Monday, and drove up alone. The drive from Atlanta took 5 hours. As I wound higher into the mountains, cell service flickered in and out. The GPS finally gave up about 20 minutes from the cabin and told me to proceed to the highlighted route. The highlighted route was a narrow gravel road that climbed so steeply I could smell the brakes heating up. Yellow and red leaves rained onto the windshield like slow-motion fire. At 4:47 p.m. on Thursday, October 17th, I reached the cabin. It was even better than the photos. Dark cedar exterior, huge triangular windows glowing gold from the sunset. A silver SUV was parked in the driveway, presumably the cleaning crew finishing up. I parked my Subaru next to it and stepped out. The air smelled like pine needles and distant chimney smoke. Absolute silence except for the wind hissing through the trees. I grabbed my duffel bag and walked up the wooden stairs to the deck. The front door was unlocked, as per Rebecca's instructions. A note on the kitchen island read, "Welcome, Ethan. Everything is ready for you. Fresh sheets, stocked fridge, firewood on the porch. Please treat the house gently, she's old and has her moods. If you need anything, text me. Cell service is spotty, but Wi-Fi is strong. Password, Whispering Pines 2023, enjoy your stay." Rebecca, I smiled at the little winky face. Hosts always try to be cute. I explored the place. Open-plan living room with a massive stone fireplace. Loft bedroom upstairs with a king bed looking out over the valley. Downstairs, a second bedroom I had no use for. The hot tub on the back deck bubbled invitingly. Everything smelled faintly of lavender and cedar. I unpacked, poured myself a glass of the complimentary red wine, and sat on the deck watching the sun disappear behind the ridges. That first night was perfect. I grilled a steak, streamed a movie on the 85-inch TV, fell asleep to the sound of wind in the pines. Friday morning I woke up to fog so thick I couldn't see 10 feet past the railing. I made coffee and worked remotely for a few hours. My company has a work-from-anywhere policy. Around noon the fog burned off and the mountains exploded in color. I hiked a trail that started right behind the cabin. 4 miles round trip to a waterfall. I took photos, felt my blood pressure drop for the first time in months. When I got back, something was slightly off. The front door was open about 6 inches. I distinctly remembered locking it. I'm paranoid about that kind of thing. I stepped inside slowly, heart already picking up speed. Hello? Nothing. I checked every room, every closet. Empty. Windows all locked from inside. I told myself the wind must have blown it open. Old houses, right? That night I built a fire and opened another bottle of wine. Around 10 p.m., I heard the first sound. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow knocks on the front door. I froze. No one knew I was here. The nearest neighbor was 2 miles down the mountain. I crept to the door and looked through the peephole. Nothing. Just darkness and the porch light flickering slightly. I opened the door a crack, chain still latched. Hello? Rebecca? Silence. I closed the door, locked it, deadbolted it, and laughed at myself. Probably a branch hitting the roof or something. I went to bed at 2:13 a.m. I woke up needing to piss. The loft was pitch black except for the glow of the alarm clock. As I swung my legs out of bed, I heard it again. Knock, knock. Same rhythm. Same spot. This time I grabbed my phone and a flashlight and went downstairs. I stood in front of the door, heart hammering so loud I could hear it in my ears. I looked through the peephole again. Still nothing. I opened the door wide this time, stepped out onto the porch in my boxers, shining the flashlight into the trees. Empty. Just the hot tub bubbling and the wind. I went back inside, locked everything again, and for good measure dragged the heavy coffee table in front of the door. I barely slept. Saturday morning I texted Rebecca. Me, 9:22 a.m. Hey Rebecca. Loving the cabin. Quick question, was anyone supposed to stop by yesterday or last night? Heard some knocking. She replied almost instantly. Rebecca. Oh no, nobody was scheduled. Probably just the house settling or a bear investigating the trash. They're bold this year. Let me know if it happens again. Everything else okay? Me, all good, thanks. I tried to forget about it. Went into Gatlinburg, walked around, bought fudge, acted like a normal tourist. When I got back around 5 p.m., the silver SUV was in the driveway again. I parked and walked inside calling out, "Hello? Cleaning crew?" No answer. The house smelled faintly of bleach. Everything looked spotless. A new note on the counter. Hi Ethan. Just a quick refresh since you're staying 4 nights. Hope you don't mind, left you some local apple pie in the fridge. Rebecca, I opened the fridge. Sure enough, a whole apple pie with a post-it that said, "Enjoy." That night I decided to stay up late, just in case. I sat on the couch with all the lights on, watching Netflix with the volume low. At 11:47 p.m. the knocking started again. Knock, knock, knock. Quick reminder, if you're hooked and want part 2 the second it drops, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Trust me, it gets way worse. I jumped up, grabbed the cast iron poker from the fireplace, and marched to the door. I flung it open. The porch was empty, but the hot tub lid was off, steam rising into the cold air. I know I had closed it that morning. I stepped outside. The deck boards were wet like someone had just climbed out. Footprints, bare footprints led from the hot tub to the railing and then stopped. Just stopped. I followed them with my flashlight. They were long, narrow, too long for a normal foot. The toes looked weirdly splayed. I took photos with my phone, hands shaking so badly the pictures were blurry. I went back inside, locked the door, and this time pushed the couch in front of it too. I texted Rebecca again. Me, 11:53 p.m. Rebecca, something really weird is going on. Someone was in the hot tub and left bare footprints that just stop at the railing. I'm kind of freaked out. 15 minutes passed. No reply. I called her, straight to voicemail. At 12:28 a.m., my phone buzzed. Rebecca. Ethan, I'm so sorry, I was asleep. Are you okay? That's really strange. Do you want me to call the sheriff? Me, no, not yet. Just wanted you to know. Rebecca. Okay, lock everything tight. Text me if anything else happens. I'll come up first thing in the morning if you want. I didn't sleep at all that night. Sunday morning, I woke up on the couch, fully clothed, poker still in my hand. The house was silent. Sunlight poured through the windows. I made coffee, hands still trembling. Then I noticed the downstairs bedroom door was open. I never used that bedroom. I walked slowly toward it. The door was ajar about 8 inches. Cold air leaked out. I pushed it open with the poker. The bed was unmade. Sheets tangled like someone had slept in them or thrashed in them. There was a wet towel on the floor, and a smell, like wet dog mixed with something metallic. On the pillow was a single long strand of auburn hair. Rebecca's color. I took more photos. I called Rebecca again. Voicemail, I texted. Me. Rebecca, someone definitely slept in the downstairs bedroom last night. There's hair on the pillow. I'm checking out early. She replied instantly this time. Rebecca. Ethan, please don't leave yet. I'm actually only 20 minutes away. Let me come explain. I promise it's not what you think. 20 minutes later, I heard tires on gravel. The silver SUV pulled up. Rebecca stepped out. Same woman from the profile picture. Auburn hair tied in a ponytail, wearing jeans and a North Face jacket. She looked nervous. She walked up the steps slowly. Ethan? She called softly. I opened the door, poker still behind my back. Hi, Rebecca. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Can I come in? I owe you an explanation. I let her in. She walked straight to the kitchen island, put her keys down, and turned to me. First, I'm so sorry for scaring you. This is embarrassing. She took a deep breath. The truth is, my sister used to live here with me, Emily. She passed away last year. Cancer, very fast. I relaxed a fraction. Okay, ghost story. Classic host trauma dump. Rebecca continued. Ever since she died, sometimes Guests say they hear knocking, or see footprints, or find the downstairs bedroom used. Emily always slept down there because of her oxygen tank. It was easier than the stairs. She laughed nervously. I know it sounds insane, but I swear sometimes it feels like she never really left. She loved this cabin more than anything. I think she just checks in on people, makes sure they're okay. I stared at her. The hair on the pillow? Rebecca reached up and pulled a strand of her own hair. Same color, right? I crash here sometimes when I have back-to-back cleanings. I must have slept downstairs Friday night after refreshing the place and forgotten to make the bed properly. I'm so sorry. The footprints? The hot tub? I sometimes use the hot tub when I clean, she said. The prints probably evaporated weirdly in the cold air. Mountain weather does strange things. It sounded plausible. Barely. I wanted to believe her. I didn't want to drive back to Atlanta at noon on a Sunday, feeling like I'd been pranked by a ghost. Rebecca opened the fridge, took out the apple pie. Look, to make it up to you, your entire stay is free. And I'll throw in another weekend, whenever you want. Deal? Free 4 nights at a $180 night cabin? That's over $700. I exhaled. Okay, deal. She smiled, this time genuinely. Thank you, Ethan. You seem like a really nice guy. Emily would have liked you. She left around 2 p.m. I spent the rest of Sunday relaxing, trying to laugh at myself. I even used the hot tub at sunset. Felt normal. That night, my last night, I grilled salmon, opened the expensive scotch I'd brought, and went to bed early in the loft. I fell asleep fast. At 3:07 a.m., I woke to the sound of the front door opening. I heard the deadbolt click. The chain rattle, then footsteps on the hardwood. Slow, deliberate footsteps, coming up the stairs. I lay paralyzed in bed, phone in my hand, 911 already typed but not sent. The footsteps reached the loft, stopped. I could hear breathing. Soft, wet breathing. Then a woman's voice, barely above a whisper. Ethan? Exactly Rebecca's voice, but Rebecca had left hours ago. I turned on the lamp. The loft was empty. I jumped out of bed, ran downstairs. The front door was locked, chain still in place. No one. I checked every room with the poker again. Nothing. I didn't sleep again. Monday morning, I packed in 10 minutes and got the hell out. As I drove down the mountain, service came back and my phone exploded with notifications. Among them, one text from Rebecca at 3:12 a.m. Rebecca, did you hear her too? She really likes you. I didn't reply. I got home to Atlanta that afternoon, exhausted but relieved. I left Rebecca a 5-star review anyway, free stay, right? And tried to forget the whole thing. 2 weeks later, I was back at work, feeling almost normal. Then the knocking started in my apartment. Knock, knock, knock. Always at night, always 3 times. And sometimes when I check the peephole, there's no one there. But the chain on my door rattles by itself. Last night, I found a single auburn hair on my pillow. And a wet towel on my bathroom floor that I didn't put there. I think Emily came home with me. She never checked out. And now she's my tenant. The one who never leaves. If you survived this far, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when part 2 drops Monday night. See you then? Sleep with the lights on.